Hey, good afternoon, everyone. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm recording this for a couple of people that requested to see what the swale and the berm looks like after it rained and all that water was flowing. It's been about 3 days that we had the big rain and it filled up this place. And the last video with that, you saw the water pouring over the side. Uh, it dries up really quick out here. With that being said, watch till the end of the video, and I'll show you what from one end to the other. So take a look at this. This is the deepest part that I have. It's about 10 feet down. It's still muddy in here. The outside is basically dry because it seeps down. It's sand, so it's slow going. So it took about 2 days for the water that was traveling down this way all the way down and into the swale. This is the berm, part of the berm. All the dirt is up on this side, so the pressure of the water doesn't knock anything out and go out to the other side. So I'm going to walk here until I could get to the swale, and I'll walk the swale down. But you can see it's behind the cabin here. So this is a different angle of that 10 foot, and you can see where it eroded down. It's done purposely up and down so it slows the flow and not overwhelm the berm. So give it time. Now I just stepped down into the swale and I'm walking down. This is up to the point where I hand dug this. I hand dug this right by the outhouse, right here. And I had a tractor do the 10-foot drop and do from this point on. Now, it's not holding water for a long time because I still have to do and put bentonite. And the bentonite seals it and holds the water. After the bentonite, and I've got to get a lot of truckloads of it, I don't know how many, maybe about 3 or 4. I got to spread it down on the bottom and up to the side somewhat because it'll seep in through the dirt. You can see it's now still muddy here. I hope I don't slip. I'm just going to walk. And down on this side, it's about 6, 7 feet. I'm 6'3", and the berm is right now to my stomach right here. So I'm walking in the middle slowly, and this side is elevated. I didn't have to do too much of the berm because I dug down and it created its own berm. What I am waiting for is a little bit more rain, and we've had like sprinkles, but nothing that, to brag about like what you saw in the other videos. It's getting muddy. I'm wearing like these winter boots. This is water. It's now up to my chest. This is higher. I'm gonna, oh, please. Well, let me try. I'm gonna back it up and walk back on the dry spot on the outside so you can see down, and then I'll walk around so you can see how the water is supposed to be flowing. Yeah, it's slippery. Now this is all damp and muddy, You see my footprints, see my boots, and that dry stuff right there, that's dried bentonite. And it usually holds it, and you can see it went right around it. Now what I'm going to do is try to see if I climb up here. You can see those holes like that. That's because my dog or an animal was running, and that dirt is soft. So my foot might go down, and I'll show you what happens here. Let me go on this side. It hardens up like a rock. Bentonite is used for makeup, food, cat litter, a lot of stuff. This dirt is made with sand, caliche, some clay. And you can see all this is dry back here. That was my goal. I'd rather for the water to stay on this side and flow down. This is the opposite side. I'm climbing up pretty hard. No problem. That's my footprint right there. So now I'm going to continue down the line, down this swale, and I'm going to walk around to the other side to show you the reason why a swale was not out there. The water comes down here. You can see further out there this way, but then it drops this way. That's where you see that erosion. It accumulates in here and just keeps flowing. It flows both ways, but it discharges once it gets to a certain point. It discharges all the way out here to get it off the land. It's like making a curve from where I took all these all the brush out. This is where I was walking. This is where I stopped. You can see my footprints right there, and that's the water. Now it inclines up a little bit. And the reason being because on that side, which I'm going to walk in a few, it flows down. When I get a massive storm, when it rains a lot, more than what we've gotten so far, it'll fill this up. Fill it up. Where the 10-foot hole is, the pond, and then slowly creeps up this way. So let me see if I can climb over here, see how soft it is. You can see this is still part of the swale, and I'm going right around it. It discharges out this way, and it carries it out with the contour of the land all the way out that way. My property line is all the way out there. My neighbor wanted some water, so that's why I came out this way, or else I would have curved it a lot more. Now I'm walking. You could tell where the water goes because everything is green. Like this is all green here. Any place there's water and it stays still, it stays green. Where it flows and dries up, you can see how sparse it is with the growth. So again, it comes out from there, comes all the way out this way, travels, and then goes out. Reason a berm was not, the swale was not, I confused the swale and berm. Berm is the upper part, the swale is the bottom where it catches the water. The reason why we didn't cut one, because all the dirt that was coming from here was mounded up here, creating the berm. Doesn't have a swale, but it created the berm. Now I'm walking right now on top of the berm, which is solid, and it created this swale on the opposite side where I was showing you that if the water flows and goes inside. What happens here is the water comes out from back there and just hits this berm, and it's a slight raise that just pushes it over all the way up that way. You can see right up there, and it keeps on going. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, but there's things that you have to do after it packs down, excuse me. After it packs down, so I hope you can hear me. I have the microphone on. See how it curves right there? It curves all the way right around. That's creating the swale on the edge. I'm still on top of the berm. I'm still higher. This is part of the swale, and it goes all the way down and pushes up. It dries it up, and there's natural swales. Now, I want to do this, but I have to maintain it. By maintaining it, I mean I have to keep an eye out where, when it rains, the accumulation, you have to make adjustments to the flow of the water. If you look at the natural swales and berm that God creates and nature creates, Mother Nature and the cosmos, whatever you want to call it, I choose to call it God. You can see how green everything is here. Water accumulates there, it puddles up, it holds it up here, and then it turns green. It flourishes. That's why water is so important. It not only gives water to the plants by building a swale and a berm, you're also giving water to the wild animals that are here. I want to create a place for these animals. They live here. We just renting it. A family going until humans come by and move them out of the way. And I don't want to do that. I want to be able to have them here because that's what I came for. I want to be the wild animals out here. We get an array of animals. You can see how green it is. All this is green. And you can see how the dirt, the different colors, the white right here, there's the caliche, which is higher. And then it turns darker. That's where it's flowing. It's flowing all the way out there. And then it turns dark. And then it keeps going. And the same thing with here. You can see where the water is flowing. All this. Flowing. And even though it's not the same topic, I've been looking for my cat. I can't find my cat. It's not in the so it came out. I leave the door open a little bit. It's really hot in there. So you might come back later. If not, animals have a different way of dying, passing away. They will leave their place and die someplace else, and I hope that didn't happen. But he's also a roamer. He protects himself really well. Plays with my dogs. He knows which dogs to play with, and the other one will hiss. Subscribe to them. He's got places to hide here. He stays with the goats. He climbs up on the roof. So, okay. Let's get back to the swale. Now I'm walking back to the 10-foot hole. here, all this is green. So you know there's water flowing that way. And then it drops. It starts dropping again. I removed a lot of this brush in order to see the way the land goes. It's hard for me to see it through the bushes. You look at the bush, you look at the growth, the only thing you can tell is that there's water that flows when it's real dark green. Otherwise, you can't see it because you only see the top of the, how do you call it, the growth. And here I'm back this side. So that's the tour of the swale and the berm. I'm going to go opposite the 10-foot hole. If I have to, I'll just dig a shallow swale to divert the water out this way. You can see it's still flowing. The, how do you call it? The water flows. This is behind my container, and it flows right there. When I first started building here, I made sure all the dead brush stay there like the compost for it to grab, to nourish. Lizards running around. I'm speaking to you guys, but I have to keep an eye out for anything that I step on or I'm about to step on. Yesterday was amazing. Last night. So these are mesquite trees. Mesquite trees are dead giveaway because when they start flourishing, they look like they're dead, but their roots go like past sometimes 40 feet. Sometimes they just waiting for the right time to flourish. The seeds on this one starting to come out. There's a little wax that comes out. The birds come back here. I harvested pieces of wood that are dried, not the ones that are alive. I try to trim them. Like all this was dry, and I use that for firewood for smoking meat. You can see all that was dead. And then you look up on the top, on the tree. That's dead, but that part is growing. So I leave it. If I cut it to the dead parts, and then it's from that point in the springtime, it goes. But I don't do it now because it's summertime and it'll dry it out. It'll kill it. And with this, I have not cut this one down. But as you can see, all this is dry, except at this point. This is new growth right here. And then everything is growing here. This one has not stopped giving seeds. You can make a lot of things with tea, coffee. You can make a flour. You can make bread out of it. The wax, it's like an amber color wax type thing. It almost crystallizes, and you use that for washing clothes. A few other things. Try to Google it up. It'll tell you. But I love the mesquite trees. A lot of the farmers don't like it because when they're farming, their cattle won't eat it. The goats will. My goat pen was full of mesquite, and they chewed the leaves off. They're down to the little nubs. But you can see the back of this, how dry it is. So it prevented all the water that was traveling out that way to come over this edge. Reason why I wanted to do that is because my last build is going to be an adobe house, right smack in the middle, right there. think I'm going to make it about 40 feet. And I'm still debating whether I'm going to do it square or rectangular or dome. Dome would be harder for me because I'm doing it by myself and I'm doing it by bags. I have to mend the soil and then use 4-prong barbed wire, pack it up, and pat it down hard. First, I have to do a trench around, so because I have to still continue with the contour of the land this way. This is where the house is. So I don't want anything to go into the house. So I have to build a solid foundation blocks, and I'll use some either cinder blocks or concrete to raise it up and then start my bags from that point. Once I do that, the concrete will be covered with stone. All this here, everything you see here was here. It was all the way around here, and I took everything was dry, sort of dry here, but you can see there was a lot, and a lot of moving, and it was all done by a pickaxe, a rake, and a shovel. Everything you see on this part right here was done pickaxe and rake and a shovel. So there's a lot of work to do. It takes time to do it. This was my very first build. Was the hen house. First, I thought it was going to be storage. Then I changed my mind because I wanted food because of the prices here. Depending on where you live or where you want to try the off-grid part living, you have to size everything up. I thought I had it down packed. If you see my first videos, I was saving. Clear your bills up so you don't have bills that you have to pay. All that plays a part into the success of your build. So you have to really come out here a few times, come to the place that you want to try to build an off-grid life in the desert, or if you want in the woods, to see what happens when it snows, to see what happens when it rains, to see how many people are around you, to see if there's other farms or anything here, or to see what rules, regulations, what you can build. All that stuff I didn't get to see because it was empty. And little by little, the price was right here. Price was really low about 4 or 5 years ago. For me, it was even lower then. I mean, lower before I got here. Now the prices are up. You got a lot of tourists. You got a lot of things being built. You got a lot of Airbnbs out here. You have Dollar General that we didn't have, which is in Studi Butte. That's about, say, 30 miles away. Most of the shopping that I like to do, depending on the gas, because gas is a big issue in Studi Butte, and I say it all the time, is about $2 higher, $1 higher than Alpine. Alpine right now, I think it's $3. And I think in Studi Butte it's $4 and something. If you go into Big Bend National Park, it might be $1 less. But that's 20 miles away, so that'd be 50 miles that you have to drive. With the vehicle that I have, it wastes a lot of gas. I spend more. If we work with the community and we're helping each other out, I don't think I would have made it. It's very important that you stay in a tight-knit circle. I do bartering. This is some of the junk. I call it junk now, but I utilize this. People utilize this, and they make it look good. What you see that I'm building, that's only the beginning. There's a lot to be done. This is metal fencing part, sinks, planters. These are all broken down. You just have to fix them up. But if you want something and you just can't afford it at the time, you need to get something done to move to your next spot until you get a better piece of equipment, this is the way to go. I have rebar. I have poles, you know, different things. I even have a tower. There's 1, 2, 3. I could put an antenna if I want up there, so I can get better reception for my Wi-Fi. But that's overkill. And keep my totes. When I first started building here, I put the chain link fence, and then I realized that this chain link fence I only had 5 goats at the time, is weak. It's shake. Doesn't bend the poles because it's in good, but they stretch out the fence. The fence stretches out. So then I switched to what is good for the goats, and it's this hard metal that's welded. They still could push up against it, but they're not going to knock it down. I'm covering the bottom because I learned by putting the fencing like I did with the dogs, and I'll walk around here. This is the goat pen. I accumulated all those rocks. I built their shelter out of pallets. I have a birthing spot on the other side. When I'm doing this side, when I'm building the extension for the goats, I'm going to divide it so I can have all the babies on one side, and then the boys and girls on the other one. That way they can breed, and then I'll switch the males. I only want to keep two males. The rest are for food. You can see how much they push, but it's stuck into the ground. I have to separate their feed. They knock everything down. They are strong. I love them. Yeah, they're real. They become affectionate. This is the male. He's Romeo, and the babies are right there. Now here for the dog pen, I had nothing built for them, so I did it out of pallet too. That has not blown down. I have a water catchment up on top for the dogs and for the blue container. I just have to put the gutter so water goes there because it's wasting. The water just keeps going down. The dogs are protected. There's 2 sections to the house, to that dog house. It's big. I could put maybe 10, 11 dogs inside, and they have a door inside going in. And I had some rubble over that there. This is tight. This is real tight. All these poles are concreted in. It took time. One of my neighbors, Rob, helped me out. Justin helped me out. This could not have happened if it wasn't for all. And you see how I protect from the coyotes? I leave this, the bottom part, so they can't dig, but I have to still cover it with dirt. The problem I'm having that I realized was that I should have put rocks first after I laid this down and then threw dirt down, because the wind and the rain changes the whole contour. And I'll show you what I mean by that. They don't get out, they can't dig through. This just has the dirt. I put dirt here. Since they don't walk, I put dirt on their side here. You can see it slowly creeping up. And then they start digging underneath it. All this with chain link fence underneath, and then I put a big, and I start putting rocks. Good girl, Nova. Good girl, Venus. Good boy. I put rocks, and the dirt changes everything. Don't forget, dogs are diggers. That's why you see all those holes. In the summertime, what they do is they dig a hole because it's cooler down on the ground. All animals are smart, and you learn from it. When I first came here, it was so hot. I stayed underneath my van. Well, I built this little place right here also. It's like a corral. In case they want to bust out, they're caught in here. They can't go out and run. So I keep everything in thought of how the animals act. And this is the other side. I have a couple of feeders. I'm going to use this one. Yes, baby. I hear you. These are the boys and the girls. Proud Daddy and the mommies back there. And I'm adjusting the water flow for the chickens because the chickens are going to be here. All this is going to be a chicken pen, the whole place. Back here, this trailer is out there, so I can create more space here. That's compost that I'm going to use for the greenhouse. I'll have a semi, semi underground greenhouse. I have windows that I barter for, that I've been getting. Any windows that I get, I keep. To put it above, then I'll put a little fan to regulate the temperature. Reason why the greenhouse will be down in the ground, because that stabilizes the temperature in the summer and in the winter. So I could grow something for food when I need it. I don't have to spend the money. Everything here for me is about the money. I've got to save. When you retire and you're living on a limited income and you pay bills like your phone and all that stuff, you got to think. You got to think outside the box. How am I going to do this? I can't get a part-time job. Can't get the gas to go there. And if I spend gas, I'm basically giving money to the person I'm working for. Because if you get minimum wage out here, you're putting it in gas, and you're still pulling it out of your pocket to get further back and forth. So all that plays. Besides that, with my health issues, I'll never make it. They'll hire me, and I might work for maybe a month or two, and it'll be a killer. It'll be a killer for me. So I try to do what I can when I can. The amount of time, every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, if anything, I stop. I relax, I think. Because my other dog, watching me right through there, keeping an eye out for me. See him? That's Milo. Milo's a good boy. So, guys, this is the tour and everything that I've been doing here. There's a lot of more things happening. So keep tuning in, checking out my channel, subscribe, and share. Just share, and you'll see my progress. And hopefully you guys, whoever wants to live a life like this, you can do it. I'm just trying to give you tips. It's not that I'm giving you bad advice or everything that's happening here that's bad. No, I'm not. I'm just showing you things that you might not be thinking of. You know, for me, I was accustomed to convenience. Had everything. I had my house, I had a farm, I had money, I worked as a nurse. I did a lot of stuff, and coming here would teach me a different way of doing things. Everybody's way of doing things is different, but they are getting from point A to point B. Everybody has a different way of doing it. Not that it's wrong, because they'll learn. If they can't make it, they'll adjust. That's the way life is. You'll adjust. If you really want it, you'll adjust. And that's all I've been doing. Little by little, let me tell you. Takes time, takes patience, takes God. One day at a time, keep moving forward. This is Rooster signing out. Take it easy and be safe.